Elliot, do you want to? Yeah, that one. We'll take him. It's okay. You've got 4. I'll give you 4 minutes.
Elliot, you've only got 4 minutes, Elliot. You've only got 4 minutes.
Hit it hard, brother.
Thank you so much for coming out here. I wasn't exactly planning to speak, but just like my wife says, I talk too much, so you are now my excess ones to get rid of the excess speech. What all of us were here for mostly about is for a good man who suffered trauma in his life and was not able to handle and had a tragic end. And our heart is heavy. At the same time, our heart is also there for him, for the sacrifice that he did each and every day that he was alive to make sure that freedom was available and that free speech was a very part of our country, a very part of our soul of New Zealand. Canada, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, our Western culture, our culture is under threat from losing one of the most precious freedoms that we have, the freedom of speech itself. The ability to share our ideas, to put them out into the community and to share them, to have fights, to engage in ideological discourse. We find that one of the most basic freedoms is now under assault by the current government, who in 2017 started from the get-go to break down our freedoms. Don't forget that it was also Andrew Little who has been pushing hard for the Human Rights Act review. And it was also Andrew Little who in February stated that they would change the Human Rights Act so that you were going to be against the law if you misgendered someone. Which of course means if a boy says that he is a girl and you say, no, you're a boy, you're not going into the changing rooms, you're not going into the sports round, you're not going to play sports with real women, that will very soon be against the law. You will be against the law in that. That is disgraceful. We must hold on to the scientific biology. We must defend women and women's rights and women's sports in this day and age. How dare they try to dilute it so much that a woman can go into a weightlifting competition and absolutely destroy it. Laurel Hubbard rolled in there, broke records. I watched those games in Samoa. The two Samoan second and third place were sad. They couldn't hide it. They were heartbroken because they fought so much, they trained so much. A male has come along and has ripped the Commonwealth records, has ripped the Samoan game records apart because he is a male now competing in a women's sports. That is wrong. And this government is now seeking to make it illegal for you to speak out against that. This is also the same government who has been pushing in schools the idea that your boy and girl from 13 years old and up, if you've got a boy, if you've got a son, a moko, and they say that they're a boy or girl, we now have a program in those schools saying that no, you're not a boy, you're not a girl, you exist on an ever-changing spectrum. That's what we're seeing right now, and you fund it. You pay for that program. ACC, welcome, your taxpayers hard at work. They are now going after the very minds of your children. And for us here, we are gathered here to say, no, we do not accept that. Scientific biology must count. The reality. If you're a boy, if you're a girl, two genders, not a mix, not fluid, not day by day by day. We are seeing a government who wishes to take away those very rights from us. Hands up here, just to see who has got relatives who have people who are veterans of war. Oh, love it. We share blood and pain. We share such fears. We share heartbreak, not just for those who died over there, but those who came back and lived lives of hollow meaning. And I know some of you heard me say this before. One of my grandfathers had fun, came over, lots of great stories about the war. My other grandfather, Elliot Ikilei, came back, burnt his uniform on the first day, got drunk almost every single day for the rest of his life for what he believed he had done. Two different men, two different experiences, one gorgeous price for the most precious of freedoms, freedom of speech, the ability to speak out, to argue, to discourse, to disagree. And this government seeks to do nothing less but to make that illegal. An ideology is at play. An ideology that is not just swept through New Zealand, but also Australia, many states in the US, Canada of course, Hong Kong now. And for us to gather together, it must no longer be just on a nationwide level, but a culture-wide level. This is our culture. The greatest, the best cultures in the history of mankind are those conservative cultures that also have an umbrella of Western culture. Under those cultures, most free, most productive, most able to correct injustices that we're found within. This government seeks to say that you are wrong. How many firearms holders do we have here?
Oh, no, not me. Sorry.
Kim has no firearm license, dude.
Reverse.
I find it absolutely despicable that this government used a time of horror to inflate fear and to use that fear very specifically to bully and to hold up the firearms community, who arguably are the most law-abiding in the entire country, and to use them and to keep punching them. Nah, first tranche. Nah, second tranche. Nah, yeah, you guys are bad. Nah, you guys. This is the sort of government that we have. I've gone out to rifle ranges and antique clubs, and I've spoken to many, and I've also learned, don't call it a gun, call it a firearm. Love the lesson, thank you. And what I have learned is that, for me, I hold no firearms license. When I was a very idiot youngster, I used to hold firearms in a different way. Changed man now, very changed. But what I saw was what I've devoted my life to. What I saw was a Chinese couple who had just come over from mainland China, who were listening intently to a World War II vet on firearm safety and how to process a course. Very clearly listening carefully. What I saw was a 12-year-old boy stand up, say, I want to join up as a club member. And 70 plus people were just lifting the roof. I saw family, brotherhood, expertise. I saw the old passing on the knowledge to the young. I saw respect of those people who are veterans of life. That's what I saw. I saw community. Different races, two different genders, whatever. But that's what we saw. This government has now used fear to beat up on a group who are wonderful for building the very hearts and souls of our people of this nation. What we can say here is, in Jesse's memory, we stand for free speech, we stand for freedom, we stand for the right to be parents and grandparents to our children, and we stand against the state trying to cover and control all of that. And so together we rise, and together we will make sure that our voice is heard. God bless you. God bless the nation of New Zealand.
Hey.